Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming, and this is The Walking Dead Season 9, Andrew Lincoln Farewell. I mean, oh man, it's I can't even say the guy's name right now. It's been a vacation and emotion, and oh man. We were going to do random things tonight, and we just totally changed the script and decided we're going to do Walking Dead. We're going to be doing Walking Dead all week because there's a lot of scenarios that we need to talk about. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. A couple super chats already in the house. Thank you so much to Valar. Valar saying hello, 99 Army, Kill, Steph. Kels, Emmy, Bree, Sweet Tom, sponsors, Patreons. Missed you too, Valar. And also Pete D. Pete D with a super chat. I don't know. I mean, Pete, we're hoping Tara leaves, and then we get Maggie, we get Rick. Now Tara is just going to be there forever. I mean, she's going to be the last person standing. I think she's the only person immune to the zombie apocalypse. She's definitely going to wait it out. And what's up, Tobin McLeod? Thank you so much. Walker, Tobin McLeod. Appreciate everybody being here. I do want to start out by saying when news gets spread this much with USA Today, with Forbes, with everybody talking about it, it's real. That's the first thing that we all got to take in. Now, what we're going to talk about today is that there are several different scenarios that can play out. And I do think, I'm going to go bold prediction on you guys right now. We'll talk about that during the show. I'm going to put my foot in the sand. I'm going to stake a claim right here, right now. I don't think he's dying. I think he's leaving. I think that they're going to... We've been talking about this pirate. We've been talking about this. Who's going to leave? We predicted it could be Rosita. We thought it could be Michonne. It could be several people. I think that they're going to find a way to let him exit the show for a year or two and then maybe leave the door open for him to come back. I know that's wishful thinking, but I'm just going to throw it out there because I think once you kill him, he's dead. So we got Epic Vids 8 saying Andrew Lincoln to the Walking Dead show. I hope they remember you. You know, Epic... Andrew, there's a lot of things surfacing out there about Andrew wasn't happy when Chandler left the show. I've seen 3 or 4 variations of what people are saying is going to go down. Now, we know none of these are factual. That's just what I'm going to predict. I'm going to go out on a limb. But I heard earlier today that he wanted to focus on his family, but now I'm seeing reports that that's not the case. I'm hearing that he wants to focus on film, and that's a whole different ballgame. But it could open up the door for him to do different things. Also, we got several new people here. I want to thank all of you for being here in the stream. We're going to be doing Walking Dead streams all week long, so 9:30, be here. We'll have a new topic. We're going to drum it up. We're going to talk about it. If you're new, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, be a part of the 99 Army. The show is going to be strong. I saw another rumor that's out there that said Norman Reedus has signed a $20 million extension. Now, I didn't believe all of it. Now, first of all, $20 million split over several years is not a big deal to keep Norman happy. I get that, and I would not be surprised if he signed some extension. The only problem is there were a lot of inconsistencies in that article, so it almost looks like they made up the $20 million figure to keep him happy. I'm going to give you the rumors that are out there, and we will talk about them all week long. But just because somebody types something and makes an article about it and says Norman Reedus is getting extra $20 million, that doesn't mean it's true. Keep in mind, and this is directly to the 999 Army and a lot of new people watching this. When news like today comes out, everybody is a Walking Dead expert. And this group is about the 999 Army. So, for one, block out some of the extra news, if you want to call it. You know, there's just a lot of noise that's out there. I see people doing Andrew Lincoln videos today that have never talked about The Walking Dead in their entire life. They don't put the time in. They don't pay the dues like we do. They're not here every night. They're not giving theories. They're just latching on. They're going to throw a quick video out there. They want people to click it so they get a whole lot of views. We are going to dissect it. We're going to analyze it. We're going to break it down. So if you are new to what we do here, that's what we do. We do it all year long. We're going to break down these streams. And if you want to be a part of this, like I said, hit the subscribe button. Hang out with us. We'd love to have you here more and more often. If we are more structured than most, we have moderators. We do get emotional, we get passionate, but we also keep it respectful, especially with other members. So, just a word to the wise. All right. Ollie says, hey, Kills, I'll cry if Andrew leaves. A lot of people, Ollie, will cry when Andrew leaves. But the big thing is, they can choose. Thank you, Wicked Raz. Don't know what to say to that, but I appreciate it. There's a lot of different situations that could go down. Maggie and Rick are at odds. I don't think they'll end at odds. I don't think they'll kill each other. But here's a number that's very important, and I don't know where this number came out. But it is being reported that Rick will only be in 6 episodes. Now, that won't even make it to the mid-season finale. Which means they could have Rick leaving the show for some reason, and then something major goes down after that. So, I'm going to throw this out there. Question for the group. Question for the group before we necessarily break down everything with Rick. Is this what Negan needs in order to be forgiven and be accepted by the viewers? Will this change the Negan dynamic drastically? Because if Andrew's not there, and we said this last season, it would take almost an act of God for Negan to be accepted. Some people are saying no. I'm not talking about can Negan save the show. That's not my point. I think the show will do fine. Charles Thomas said Andrew Lincoln has a contract dispute. I can tell you that is not the case. Andrew Lincoln is very, very well compensated for The Walking Dead. Got a huge raise last year. This isn't a money situation. Well, there's another alternative. People are assuming that Rick is leaving the show. No one said Rick is leaving the show. I'm going to give you an alternate solution. Rick Grimes is a part of The Walking Dead. Here's 3 opportunities. I want you to pick A, B, or C. If you're following along at home, this is what we do. Also, 200 people in here. For the love of God, 999 Army, can you guys slap the like button just one time? Get this video out there. Get it in circulation. Get some people to participate in this chat. All right, everybody, moving on. A, B, or C? A, Rick dies. B, Rick becomes a pirate. Or C, someone else gets cast as Rick Grimes. Which would you rather see happen? A, B, or C? Rick dies, Rick leaves, or someone else becomes Rick? Those of you following along at home, you can see the participation, the interaction. I am not entirely against someone else becoming Rick Grimes. Rick's going to get a little bit older. Guys, you can't always predict the doom and gloom. I'm going to get that super chat in 1 second. This is not a writing situation. So we have people, and I'm going to get to Super Chat in 1 second. I had a lot of people, and we did streams last year for Fear of the Walking Dead, that said, Nick is the leader of the show. If Nick dies, the show dies. No one else can carry the show. And you know what? Fear of the Walking Dead is doing fine. Probably a better storyline without Nick, to be honest with you. So I'm not saying that Rick is not the show. He's not the central character. He's not the story. What I'm saying is there are other options. The option is Rick can take a couple years off. This is not Gimple. This is not people writing him off the show. This is a star of a show deciding he wants to do something different. All right, we'll come back to this in 1 second. So Epic Vid says, in all honesty, Andrew is the only one I feel can carry the show. If they try to make Daryl the lead or Negan, the show won't last. People will tune out. I'm not sure I totally agree with that. I don't know. But I will say this, that when we do the Pulse surveys, and hang on, I'm going to ask, the one thing about our viewers is I know our viewers pretty well. Very few people in this room have said Rick Grimes is their favorite character. They acknowledge what Rick is. They acknowledge Rick is the leader. But I've had people say it's Daryl. I've had people say that Maggie was their favorite. I had people say Glenn was their favorite. Abraham was their favorite. You know, I love Rosita. I love Negan. But when someone's leaving, all of a sudden Rick becomes the irreplaceable. And what I'm saying is there's options. And there's options. People will still watch the show. Well, that is unfortunate, Sweet Rabbit. So, I am sorry to hear that. But all I can say, if you are Nolan Nerd and you're still here, he super chatted this. Mistakes happen, and you know it is definitely your prerogative, and we'll talk about this offline. If you want to send me a message to my YouTube account, then we'll talk about it. I mean, certainly, moderators have a lot of stuff to deal with, and the only thing I could say is maybe you got put in a timeout because someone else, they meant to hit somebody else and they hit your name. So, send me a message offline, though. Dean Stevenson, Super Chat, says, are we absolutely sure this is happening? So, I'm going to put that as our Super Chat spotlight. Dean Stevenson, I would say, yes, when it gets reported this widely, I do think absolutely that it's happening. Okay, so the question I have for the group. Out of everybody that's here, how many of you are, if Andrew Lincoln is only cast for 6 episodes next season, how many of you in this room are only going to watch, 6 episodes. How many of you are only going to watch 6 episodes of The Walking Dead next season? Or how many people are fans of the show, regardless of who's on the show? And I would be interested to see how many of you who say me said the same thing when Carl left the show. And when Glenn left the show. and when Sasha left the show. So, follow-up question for the 999 Army. Hold on. There's a follow-up. So, after Andrew Lincoln leaves the show, we're still going to be streaming Walking Dead live streams. How many of you in the 999 Army are no longer going to attend the live stream since you're not watching the show anymore? I'm just curious. I want to see how many are fans out there of our channel and how many are fans of the show and how many people like to participate that potentially you're never going to attend another stream and get involved in our chat. Interesting follow-up, right? I think I made a few people pause. And that was the point of it. So when this happens, and number one, look, I'm not trying to lose any of this group. I love this group. I love the dialogue. If it's not Walking Dead, we'll have other popular shows that are still running, like the Roseanne show that we can, I guess we won't be talking about that one either. We'll have other popular shows that we'll still be talking about that will still be televised. So, we want to get together. We want to dissect stuff. You don't know. I mean, the reality is he has a right to leave. Yeah, it was pretty tough. Roseanne's been through enough today, huh? I just piled on. It's fine. I look forward to streaming, to getting your dialogue, to getting your insight. Many of you were in these streams when we first started. Many of you were in these streams when Fear the Walking Dead was bad, and we still did streams, and we got together and we talked about Preacher and other shows that were out there, and Fear the Walking Dead got good. It's very good. And the stream started filling back up, and there's a lot of good insight and a lot of good chat. And we've been through the Glenn and Abraham death. We've been through the Sasha death. We went through Carl. And we're going to get through this Rick and Maggie situation. It doesn't mean the show is going to be better. It just means that the show is going to be different. And there's going to be things that we don't like, and there's going to be things that still are storylines. I don't watch The Walking Dead to see if it's going to match a comic arc. Some people do, and they're just so excited about it, like, I can't wait till the Whisperers are introduced. What if the Whisperers are never introduced? So Epic says, not a good sign for the shows when actors and actresses are leaving to look for other opportunities. Frank left. Lauren could leave now. It could. But it doesn't mean it's a toxic environment. It doesn't mean it's a bad deal. Let me throw this out there. Michonne hasn't left, and Michonne has a very, very lucrative movie career. Norman Reedus hasn't left, and Norman got his own show and a movie career. So there's certainly examples on both sides. I'm not justifying what's going on. I will say this. Question for the group. Why would Christian Bale stop being Batman? I want you guys to think about that 1 second. I mean, you're Batman. Batman's pretty freaking amazing. Why would Christian Bale? A lot of different comments. So those of you watching at home, you see the different comments kind of streaming. So I read an article about Christian Bale, and apparently the suit he was wearing, it was hot, and it was 60, 70 pounds they had to carry around, and he had to be in a certain shape, and it was just a certain role that he had to do, and it was just grinding. It was draining him. So Andrew Lincoln lives across the ocean. He's in Atlanta, Georgia, filming, 4 or 5 months out of a year, away from his family. $500,000 an episode. But it happens. So I think going back to, and the reason I'm bringing this up, to go back to Epic Vid's point, is it doesn't mean it's a toxic environment and people are just leaving. That, okay, I don't want to be on The Walking Dead anymore. I don't want to be Rick Grimes. I mean, he's Rick Grimes. So you don't know what his decision making is. Why did Barry Sanders retire? He's the greatest running back of all time when he wasn't old. You don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into a decision like this. I'm sure this was not something, he's happy about, or just it was that easy of a decision. But he has other opportunities, and now the show must go on. No, I'm not Angela Savage. I'm not missing the fact there have been plenty of Batmans and there's only one Rick Grimes. You're missing the fact that he has a right to go in a different direction, and fans who are fans of the show should care about the show and see what the next step is for either Rick or the next step is for the show. Because it's not The Walking Lincoln. It's The Walking Dead. And this is not something where he was written off of a show. This is something he made a conscious decision. And then you get 20 different rumors or theories or people casting doubt or casting blame. And what's uncomfortable is the amount of people who come on and say, hey, Kills, I'm done watching this. I'm not going to be involved in it. I don't care about it because Andrew Lincoln made a decision to leave the show. So, follow-up question. I'm gonna get extreme. No, it's probably a bad example. Well, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I don't mean any bad luck or ill will. So, but just stick with me for a second. Some of the same people said Andrew Lincoln's leaving the show and they're not going to watch The Walking Dead anymore. If Andrew Lincoln was involved in please don't think anything about this. If he is involved in a fatal car crash or an airplane crash or something devastating, would you still watch The Walking Dead? I'm just curious. So, There are some people who said earlier that Andrew Lincoln leaves, I'm not going to watch the show because he chose to leave. But now, if something happened to him while he was on the show, they would watch the show. And I'm confused. I'm confused in the rationale behind that because, once again, this is not Scott Gimple and Robert Kirkman getting together say we're going to kill this guy off. They're probably scurrying around trying to find a storyline that works for the viewers. So with Epic, he says, I'd like to make the point this story's always been about, has been Rick's story and everything else has been secondary to his character arc. How does the show look for the future seasons if he isn't there? Well, that's a good question. But I'm sure there's fans of Daryl that would like to see more of Daryl's story. There's fans of Negan that would like to see more of Negan's story. So here's a question I have for the group, and let's make this a super chat spotlight because I think it is a great point by Epic Vids. And it shows that passion. How many people here are interested in a different story, a new story, or someone else's story on The Walking Dead? Because Maggie does have a story. Michonne has a story. Dwight has a story. So, Rick's story is different. Rick's story is not about Carl anymore. Rick's story is about starting over and leading the next frontier. I'm reading a couple of comments here. So Babatage wants to know who can lead the next frontier besides Rick. Maybe nobody. Maybe the show ends after next season. Maybe season 9 is where it all ends. Maybe you never see the Whispers or the Commonwealth. Casey says, I would just like it to end. Well, Casey, I wouldn't like it for it to end. I actually would enjoy watching the show. And I would still think, well, it's hard to tell. No, we're just going through some of the comments. I'm trying to focus in because there's a lot of different direction that the stream is going in. No, we're okay. We're okay. What's up, Lakeisha? Moderators, Lakeisha, thank you so much for that super chat. And if you guys could, if she has a follow-up question. So, if Rick dies, the main show should end. I don't think so. I think we'll see. What's up, Bando? You will be the last man standing, says Beth Green. Beth might have been wrong. Okay, so another follow-up question for the group. Let's say Rick needs to go out and find something. More groups, more communities. He wants to go out there and look. If there's the hope that Rick comes back, is that okay for everybody? All right. And then I got, sorry, Ali Perez. I did miss that. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Sorry, Ali. Didn't mean to miss the super chat. It says, okay, since you're giving an option to maybe recast him, who do you think could portray Rick Grimes? Rick's story is why I fell in love with the show. So let's make that a super chat spotlight. Not a lot of people are comfortable with that. Potential recasting. And remember, Rick could be a little older. Rick could be, I don't know. I don't know recasting Rick is going to be somebody that comes in that, like Matt Damon or Brad Pitt or George Clooney or somebody like that. I think it would just be somebody that is similar. Liam Neeson. That would be. He would just have to tell him, I have a very dangerous job. Epic, it's a tough question because to ask that almost sets a tone for a conspiracy theory. So Epic says, does Carl's departure have an influence on this? The truth is, we don't know. That's something that only Andrew Lincoln knows. Has he made enough money? I mean, he's made what, probably 8 to 10 million easy off The Walking Dead. So he's wealthy. You have to take it at face value. And I say at face value, he says he wants to spend time with family, he wants to work on movies. I'm okay with that. I don't think, even if he didn't agree with something that they did, I don't think he's going to go public, because the thing to keep in mind, are there any Norman Reedus fans out there? Anybody Daryl Dixon fans? Let me know if you are. In fact, other than Andrew Lincoln or Rick Grimes, can you guys post who your favorite character is on The Walking Dead? You can't pick Rick. So if you were not to pick Rick Grimes, who's your favorite character on The Walking Dead? Michonne, Maggie, Jerry. Can't pick Rick, Deidre. Rick's not an option. Michonne, Carol, Rick, Carol, Jesus. Dawn the Frank says Tara. Come on. Tara's not your favorite. Negan, Aaron, Gabrielle, Abraham. Abraham was my favorite too. And while you guys are typing that, Lakeisha did a super chat, just had a comment, and it said, Kills, I love your channel. Honestly, it's my love of Walking Dead has kept me tuning in, but I think they need to end the show. Carl, now Rick, I'm super frustrated. Rick is the star. Lakeisha says, other than Rick, Abraham, Michonne. All right. So there's a lot of favorites out there. Those of you that are frustrated, do the actors who come to work every day that want to be a part of the show, do they deserve our support? Do they deserve our fandom? Do they deserve our respect? Just because Andrew wants to leave and do something else, does that mean that diehard fans that have been with the show for 8 seasons should tune out because Andrew wants to do something else? So, and yet Trev Smile says, it's a story and it was about Rick, period. Trev, for you, but I'm going to say for me, I'm okay. There's other stories that I'm interested in. So it's personal preference. There's some people out there that love Rick. I'm not super attached to anybody. I liked Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita's story. When everything's going on with Rick's story and where Rick is going to, I'm actually interested in the other stories. I'm interested in the Oceanside. I'm interested in Cindy. I'm interested to see what happens with Negan. I'm interested to see what's going on with Dwight. Is Dwight going to be let back in? I'm interested to see what's going on with Daryl. And, you know, this stream is not much different than the Carl stream. It's people are frustrated. They want to channel their emotion. They want to get it all out there. You're not going to make him come back. I mean, the thing is, Andrew's a grown-ass man. He's going to do what Andrew wants to do. And you have the right to watch the story, or you got the right to follow Andrew Lincoln around. I mean, that's the reality. We're not going to coddle. We're not going to spoon feed. If you don't like the show, you don't like the show. Move on. So, sadly, there's 20 or 30 people here that we probably won't be discussing The Walking Dead with. And that's okay. I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's fun to talk about the show and bits and pieces. But the thing I'll say is I'm glad that people waded through Fear the Walking Dead. I think some people were pleasantly rewarded. Epic Vid says, in my opinion, actor is either all in the show 100% or you're not. It can't be half-hearted. I agree with that 100%. And if Andrew can't be there, if he can't give what he needs to give to the role, he needed to do something different. Davina Tanoia says, Fear is so good this season, The Walking Dead could reset. Will Saint says, I love Fear this season. And you know what? I do too. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I love The Walking Dead. I really, really like The Walking Dead. But if I put Fear the Walking Dead versus Season 8 of The Walking Dead, I think Fear the Walking Dead is having a better season from a story standpoint than last season of The Walking Dead. I know that's a bold statement, but every episode of The Walking Dead is not great. There are some bad episodes of The Walking Dead. It's just we've been watching it for so long, and we have the attachment with those characters. But I will put Fear the Walking Dead neck and neck this season to last season. Maybe not the best season of Walking Dead ever, but I'm saying Fear the Walking Dead is on the rise. All right, got another super chat. This is the mixologist, Jason Daly. Says, I'm interested to see what happens to Ezekiel. I'm wondering if the writers will have him step up. Rick is leaving, maybe a good thing. Jason, thanks for that. Because in streams like this, it's hard, I think, for some people to really step up and say, I'm a fan of the show. The show is going to go on. I'm going to watch the show. Pete D says maybe Rick runs off with Madison. No. That might be too much of a crossover. Madison's sister, he's going to look for his long-lost sister. Instead of a brother, Rick had a sister. I don't know. But it's a good point. I mean, look, there's a lot of maybes. Maybe Rick's looking for family. Maybe Rick wants to find other communities. Maybe Rick needs a break. That this decision was too much on him. Maybe Rick dies. Maybe they recast Rick. I mean, there are 5 options there. Slam says he won't die, will he? You know, that's a $1 million question. Throw this question out for the group. Is it possible, or even is it likely, that Rick has had enough and is tired of being leader by default and needs to just get away from everybody? Not Andrew Lincoln. Is it possible that they will do that with Rick's character? I don't think they weren't planning on doing that. That wasn't something they were sitting in the back room doing. I mean, clearly you have a contingency plan for most things that happen. This is probably very hard as a writer. All right, so I'm going to do something that we rarely do here, but I have to do it because, you know, when the chat's going in a bunch of different directions and people are like, I'm not going to watch, blah, 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 and you guys give me all that crap, I got to do something. So I'm going to ask you to put your Walking Dead emotions to the side. And everybody in this chat, everybody watching the playback as well, you are now the executive showrunner of The Walking Dead. You work for The Walking Dead, and your biggest star just came up to you and said, you know what? It's time for me to move on. I'll give you another year. Write it out for me right now. You tell me you want fans to stick around. You want people to stick with your show. You want people to support it. You want people to follow the story. You don't want people to jump ship. How are you writing it right here, right now? That's your option. Harley Quinn with a super chat. I love this chat. Rick's not the lead. Without the walkers, the show wouldn't exist. I'm all in. People die. It's a TV show. People have lives. I love the show. I'll watch no matter what. There's been a lot of super chats today. I might agree with that one more so. Thank you for that. Chris Raining says, I'm still watching, but I'm angry. It's okay to be angry. But I want to see how you write it in, Chris. Chris, you're executive showrunner. Give me a plot. Give me something that you're going to write to keep people around. Brad Witham says I'd have Negan kill Rick and take over. Okay, maybe. I don't know that would be the most popular. Beth Brigette says Rick to find Morgan. Missy Ann says don't kill Rick. Leave hope that he'll be back. Pete D says Rick runs off with Jesus. Maybe Rick leaves to find Jesus. Variation, Pete. Maybe Rick just leaves. There is mic silence. I'm just reading some of your comments. Walking Dead Nerd says Rick leaves to find Morgan. Ooh, Servant Chris says Whispers capture Rick. So if Rick leaves halfway through the season and takes a couple years off, he could be back by season 11. Rick leaves after killing Maggie. Oh, that is vicious. DDAI, you're pretty sinister. If you're writing the show, that would be creepy. Kidnapped by the Commonwealth. Julia Drum says, I think Rick will turn into that walker we see in the intro of the show. I don't know how far in advance they knew this, but maybe Rick told him season 9 is going to be my last season. Maybe he told him 2 years ago. Hippo says Rick kills Tara. Somebody has to. All right. Question for the group. When do you think I'm going to get back to that 1 second. So Chris Raining wants to know, how can Rick leave Michonne? Well, in the comic, Michonne leaves Rick, but they're not together. And I'm just giving you my prediction. And I said this starting the video, so I'm not going to waver from that prediction. I think Rick leaves. Remember how Carol had too much and she was afraid she couldn't do it? I think Rick is beyond that point. I think he gave everything he had to this war. He's, is he doing the right thing with Negan, not with Negan? I think they keep hope alive. I think they let him leave. Maybe he does go look for Morgan. I think that's a valid... Morgan was his friend since the beginning. And if he took a couple years off to work on a couple movies, that would be a lot of hype. So, I can't see Rick dying. I'm going to stick by that bold prediction. And I agree with you. I agree with a lot of people saying how important Rick's character is to the show. And if I were writing the show, I would write him to leave, and I would keep enough hope alive. Look, even if Andrew Lincoln doesn't come back, you could bring a recast Rick back later on. I think the fans would change. Some of the people who are huge Andrew Lincoln fans, a little bit of Rick is better than no Rick at all. That's backfire. That's what I think potentially could happen. Andrew Lincoln leaves the show. His character Rick Grimes leaves. Give him a couple years to do his movies. See how he feels. Maybe they can renegotiate something. If all's good, they bring him back. If all's not good, you bring back a recast Rick Grimes later on. And I think the fact that, look, if you recast Rick right now, fans are going to hate that. But if you don't have that character of Rick Grimes for a year or so, people might be more accepting of it and be a little bit more hungry. Me personally, it'd be different, but I mean, what am I going to do? Stop watching because it's a different Rick Grimes? I'm just not. All right, we've got a super chat up here with Epic Vid. Says the show should end in season 11 or 12 with the Commonwealth and the survivors safe, civilization rebuilt, and the world resumes normal life. I could follow that story. That would give you another 3 years. Epic Vids, let me ask you this. What if, let's take Epic Vids super chat and let's add the Rick dynamic into it. What if Rick goes out looking for a cure or goes out looking for a civilization? And he comes back in season 11 or season 12 and he found it. Maybe that's Rick's bigger purpose. And we get to see some of the other stories developed over the next season. Rick strolls in a little bit later on. Hey, check this out. All right, we're going to start winding this down in just a little bit. I do have a few more things that I want to bring up. I got a couple more questions. But, because we're going to do this again tomorrow night. We're going to give it 24 hours, let people process some of the different things that we talked about, some of the different solutions, some of the different scenarios. I agree. I think it is a terrible, terrible, terrible decision if they kill Rick Grimes. Because if I were writing the show from a money-making perspective or from a getting fans interested perspective, I could put the carrot out there just enough that diehard fans are not going to leave. And I'm telling you, the way they do this, give him an emotional reason to leave. And leave the hope. If the story is about Rick, and a good portion of the story is about Rick, Rick should be the person that's finding a way to save his people. Rick's not saving anybody right now. Rick murdered a whole bunch of saviors. So, I don't know that this was planned into it. So the question I have for the group, that's the way I would do it. How long or how much of a notice do you think Andrew Lincoln gave Scott Gimple? I would be willing to bet this is not something that just recently came about. I think Andrew Lincoln is a professional. I think he knows his value to The Walking Dead. What if they've known about this a year ago and they do have a story played into it? Yeah, last year. I doubt it was the end. Disaster Maintenance's end of season 8. I would bet they've known for a while. So, Andrew Lincoln understands the Walking Dead community. He understands what you feel, what I feel, our passion for the show. So, I don't think he would just go in Scott's office and say, hey, look, I'm quitting. I know you guys have already written season 9, but I just want to let you know so you can change the whole damn thing. No, I think this has been, Scott Gimple has had this, and they prepared for it. And I would be shocked with that much notice if Rick Grimes dies. Freddie Harrelson, he says if he leaves, I'm not watching anymore. You will probably not be watching anymore. He is leaving. And that's just the reality. Not everybody's going to watch the show. Exactly. Disaster Maintenance says Andrew wouldn't be that arrogant just to tell them after season 9 was already written. There's no way. This has been in the works. And if it's in the works, from a marketing standpoint, look, these guys knew what they were doing. This didn't leak. This was structured. What in the world is everybody talking about? There you go. Jason, Mixologist Daily. You hit the nail on the head. What is everybody in the world talking about today? People? They're not talking about Walking Dead ratings from season 8. Brilliantly stated, Jason Mixologist Daily. Everybody is talking about The Walking Dead, and it's 4 months away. It's the biggest buzz in the news right now. Okay, well, it's up there. Drama King is very uncomfortable about this whole situation. Drama, I mean, I can reach out to Andrew if you'd like, but I don't think it'll do any good. Probably nothing I say in the stream is going to make him come back. So Walani says, don't think this is a publicity stunt. I'm not saying it's a stunt. I'm saying it's a calculated release. That there's going to be a lot of hype around the season. This is what we're going to be talking about for the next 3 or 4 months. People are not going to stop watching before season 9. So they're going to have some record-setting ratings for season 9 to see what happens to Andrew Lincoln. Just like when Glenn and Abraham died. Who did Negan kill? Right now, people want to know. How many people here want to know how Rick is going to leave? Right? Isn't that the burning question? Is he going to die? Is he going to leave? Is somebody else? I mean, that's what we're talking about. So the timing is brilliant because what happens in early July? Come on, you guys help me out. What do they do every July? The trailer, Comic-Con. Comic-Con is going to be packed with Andrew Lincoln fans. There's going to be so much buzz around The Walking Dead. We're going to want to know what goes down with Rick. And that's going to be enough fuel, enough momentum for season 9. And don't get too torn up about it. I think Rick Grimes is going to be fine. All right, everybody. We have streamed this for an hour. I'd planned on doing a 30-minute stream. I want to thank everybody for being here. You guys are passionate. I really want to thank the hardcore fans. And those are the fans that are going to watch The Walking Dead, that are going to watch 999 Gaming, that are going to be involved in these streams. You guys built up these streams. You guys are a big part of what we do. I hope you're along for the ride and people don't check out, because I love breaking down scripts. I love breaking down plots, storylines. I don't watch any show for one character. I won't. I'm on a roller coaster and things happen, and I'm going to be watching the show until the show ends. I'm not going to go back and watch replays of it. I'm going to watch it every single week. I'm going to be there. We're going to stream it. So I hope you guys are a part of that. And if you choose 4 or 5 months to go a different direction, totally up to you. But we will be discussing Walking Dead tomorrow night at 9:30. We will be discussing it again on Thursday night. We might even have a Friday stream. So get all the ideas, get all the emotion out there. You guys do me a super big favor if you could. Slap that like button. Give me a 999 in chat. I want to thank all the patrons. You guys can see them up there on the right. I want to thank the people who sponsor this channel, the channel. Also, all the people super chatted tonight. Ton of people super chatting, getting their ideas out there. Epic Vids, and a whole lot of other people. You guys saw them during the stream. Thank you so much. Pete D, your contributions, everything that you guys do for this channel, just make it a whole lot of fun. I hope that we're continuing to talk about TV shows, movies, streams, because this passion, this energy, this enthusiasm, absolutely. If you guys are part of 999 Army, make sure you slap that. Also, if you're going to Comic-Con, you want to grab some gear, Kel, can you leave a link for the gear? People have been asking, how do I get a 999 Army shirt or one of the Fear of the 999 Army shirts? There's a website to go to that as well. So if you're watching the playback also, make sure you leave a lot of comments in here. Thank you so much. Appreciate everybody. Also the moderators, and let me get some shout-outs. Israel Marin, Jeffrey Morrow, Julia Drums. As I'm getting into this, Lakeisha Faison, thank you so much. Skull Crusher 69, all you guys are wonderful. There's a lot of passion, a lot of disagreement, but keep in mind, when we do live chat, live debate, it's never personal. We get heated, we raise our voice, we're passionate, we put exclamation points, we put things in caps. But at the end of the day, we're going to come back, we're going to do the stream again tomorrow, and we're going to talk about stuff that not a lot of people want to talk about. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Appreciate everything that you guys do. Maria Favada, my moderators, Emmy, Steph, Kels, Tommy, Lamar Lanham, thank you. Gina Crockett. Packing, thank you so much. Harley Quinn, thank you so much. Hilda Pineda, Casey F. Northside Queen, Jason Mixologist, Daily, trust the process. Good point. Drama King, New York. Drama King, we need to review the hidden tapes. I think that'll tell us what's going on with Rick. Freddie Harrison, love this channel. Love you too, Freddie. DDA Ohio, thanks. Abstract, Lindsay Luke, double L. B Squared, Bumblebee Brown, Maggie B, John Brody, Rob Morris, thank you. Maurice Gamble, Helicard, eBeach72. I saw Dave Doherty up there a little bit ago. Bear Grillis, and yeah, a lot of stuff there. Janet C, Marie Levy, thank you, Marie. Tiffany Irvin, thank you, Tiffany. To the person that said they love my voice, thank you. Rosa Duarte, have a good night, Rosie. And thank you for that info. I got your kick message a little bit ago. If you guys have some insight, emotional show, if you guys want to shoot me a message on Kick at KILZHOT. It gets a little busy sometimes, but when I get a chance, I will respond to them. Absolutely. And yet Trev smiles. Appreciate you, man. Randall Roundtree, thank you. The one and only Dave. Dave, switched the name up. Becca Bolin, thank you, Becca. Kristen McBride, appreciate you being here. Thank you, Alani. Kelly Golanzanier. Hippo, happy birthday, Hippo. Why did I not get a notification? Angela Sandoval, thank you so much. What's up, David Brooks? L. Ortiz, great discussion. Yeah, that's why I hope people don't leave the show, L. Ortiz, because I think that even people that are unhappy with the way things go on the show provide good insight and good points, and that's what makes it so much fun. May you funnies. Also, Backfire. 3851. Thanks, Backfire. Big E Gorham. Peace out. Thanks, Kyle Sanders. I could be convinced to watch a Michael Myers movie. Rublo's channel, thank you. Ron Burgundy. Copco157. Thanks for being here. Star Guitar Goddess. Thank you. Missy Ann. Paul Phelps. Davina Tonoya. Thank you. Will Saint. I probably did some double shout-outs. Just a ton of people here tonight. Chosen One. Thanks, Sergeant Chosen One. And if I miss you in a shout-out once this video goes live, make sure you leave comments. We will be taking your comments, putting them in future videos as well. Jamie Krysick. Thank you so much, Jamie. All right, everybody. I think I missed a few. Deidre Perkins, a couple other people. There's a whole lot of people streaming, so definitely want to thank everybody that's a part of this, and I will see you all at 9:30 tomorrow night for some more heated chat and debate. Dawn of the Frank just getting in under the radar. Thanks, man. Peace. Laura Butler. Barely got it, Laura. Barely. I might need to wait like 10 more seconds. It's going to be one more person I recognized I missed. Shout out to I Wonder. All right, Justin Barrett. See you, everybody, tomorrow night. Peace.